Hey y'all, it's Bailey with Reclaim Grace. I'm so happy you clicked on this video. I have some really easy spring projects for y'all today. All of them have bunnies. Bunnies are involved in every project. I hope y'all enjoy them. Y'all let me know which one is your favorite, and we're going to get started right now. I hope everyone is doing well today. Our first project is this wooden, I think it's like a wooden holder for maybe a salt and pepper shaker. But I love this color of the wood. I paid $2 for this, and the terracotta pots my mama gave me, so they were free. I'm going to take a white paint. I believe this is Picket Fence by Fusion, and I'm going to dry brush on the tops of these terracotta pots. I want to leave some of that terracotta color underneath. I just want these to be mostly white. So I'm doing a pretty heavy dry brush on just the outsides and the bottom of our terracotta pots. Here's how we are looking. I'm going to do that exact same thing to the other terracotta pot. And now we're going to come in with Spring Melanie Paint and Lay. I'm going to grab these two small bunny designs right here. It's kind of like a dark green color, and they're almost the exact same design. We're going to use these on the front of our pots. Figuring out placement here, and I did make a few relief cuts near the ears so the ears would lay down flat. I'm going to take my mister and just mist lightly on the paint side of that paint inlay. Then I'm going to start applying my clear coat. This is Dixie Belle Flat Clear Coat. I'm just going to apply it to the area I'm applying the paint inlay to for right now. I applied a kind of thick but even coat on that area, and now I'm just going to press my paint inlay into that wet clear coat. I'm going to remist the top of the inlay, rub it a little bit more, and then I'm going to set this one to the side and start on the next pot. And I'm just going to do that same process. Apply the clear coat, then apply the paint inlay in the clear coat, and then rub very well. Just make sure you don't have any wrinkles, because you will be able to see those if you don't work out the wrinkles with your fingers. But misting that paint inlay before you get started really helps with the wrinkle issue. I'm going to dry these with my heat gun. It took literally 10 seconds to dry these. And then now here is how they're looking. You can tell that they are dry from that cloudy color on top of the inlay. It looks more like paper now. So we're going to remist those and then just kind of dab, make sure the whole surface is pretty moist. Then we're going to pick a corner and gently start peeling the paint inlay up. This is in real time. You work really slow when you're peeling the inlay up so the paper does not rip. I have heard people say do not let the paint inlay dry completely when you are using a top coat, and that is not my case at all. I fully dry my paint inlay and I have no problem whatsoever getting the piece of paper off. So I just wanted to put that out there. Now I'm going to seal very gently over the top of the whole entire pot, just trying to take very light pressure strokes over the paint inlay so it doesn't smear. And I'm going to go ahead and clear coat the entire pot. Now I'm going to take IOD Vintage Texture Stamp. This is the gorgeous crackle design. I'm going to come in with my black IOD permanent ink. I'm going to offload that ink a little bit and then randomly press this stamp just randomly over both little pots. And that is it for this project. I think it's super cute, super spring. I love how it came out, and I priced it for $14.95. Our next project is this glass jar canister. It has a really nice intact seal on it, so that's why I picked it up. I did not pay no $9.99 for this. I paid like a quarter for it at a church yard sale this past weekend. I heated up that sticker so I could remove that price tag and the original sticker. Now I downloaded this from an Etsy file. It came with 4 rabbit bunny vintage labels for I believe like $4, and then I printed it out on regular copy paper. I'm just going around here and just tearing those straight edges with my fingers to make it look more ragged and just more natural. Now I'm going to flip over my label and apply a thin layer of Mod Podge to the back of my label, just a nice even coat, and then we're going to apply this on top of our glass jar. This jar, you could tell it had like a front and back from a seam in the glass, so I made sure the seam was in the back, and then I'm just going to center this the best I can and press down. I also grab a blue shop towel and just wipe off any excess Mod Podge squeeze out, because we're going to want to get that off of the glass before it dries. I'm now going to come in and seal over top of that label with another coat of Mod Podge so this can be wiped off in the future. Then I'm going to come in with a baby wipe and wipe off and just make sure, again, no Mod Podge is on the glass. This one was a super easy project, but I still love how it came out. I added some cute velvet carrots to it, and I priced it for $12.95. What do y'all think about this easy project? Next, I have this gorgeous wooden frame with that gorgeous carved detail. I love that part, and I paid $1 for this frame. We're going to be working on 2 frames in this set of projects, so I'm going to grab a piece of paper and take and write down these measurements. Then I'm going to set this one to the side and grab my next frame. I paid 25 cents. I love those church yard sales, y'all. You get really good deals when you go to the church yard sales. Now I'm going to rip. Probably could have done this an easier way, but I got frustrated and I ripped this backing piece off. We will not be reusing this, of course, so I threw that away. Now I'm going to come in with a flathead screwdriver and remove those staples. Then I'm going to take some measurements for this frame as well and write those down. I went and cut a piece of 1/4-inch plywood on with those measurements. I sanded those edges so we didn't have any splinters. And here are our 2 new backings. We're going to be putting another Temu canvas print on both of these. I told y'all I ordered a bunch of them, but this set's probably the last I'm going to show y'all so it doesn't get too repetitive around here, but I love these bunny prints. I made sure I'm placing the right print on the right size backing, and now I'm going to use Mod Podge. It takes quite a bit of Mod Podge to get these thicker canvases to stick well, so I just dump it on the plywood and then spread it out with my paintbrush in a thick but even manner. Then I'm going to press that canvas into that wet Mod Podge, rub all over, and then we will pick up the other half and do the same thing, apply the Mod Podge, and then press the canvas into the wet medium. When you are working with these canvases, I have noticed it's very easy to get air bubbles. So make sure to go over it with a brayer, especially around those edges, really all over. Go over with that brayer very well so you do not get any air bubbles. Once I feel like I have gone over it enough, I'm going to take that Mod Podge and apply an even layer in a crosshatch motion on top of the canvas. This will make it look like it's a painting instead of a canvas. But do not apply the Mod Podge too thick, because then it will look really funny and it will almost look like you need to peel it up and start over, especially if it's on a darker surface. So now I'm going to do the other canvas print in the exact same way, and I'm just going to let y'all watch this one. Once the canvases are fully dry, I'm going to flip it over and use a sharp X-Acto knife and cut off any excess canvas. Now, I was not sure if I wanted to even paint these frames, but once I put the canvases into the frames, it just didn't stand out enough for me, so I decided to paint them. I'm going to use Cashmere by Fusion and apply 2 coats to both of our wooden frames. Now that the paint is dry, I'm going to first go over the frames with clear wax, and then we're going to add some age. I'm just going to lightly go over the entire frame with the clear wax first, and before I wipe any wax back, I'm then going to use the Fusion's aging wax and just go over that carved detail mainly, but if some of the wax gets on any other areas to the frame, that's okay. I'm going to work it into the engraved detail and then take a blue shop towel. I'm going to work in sections so the wax doesn't deepen my paint too much, and wipe back all of the wax. I did the waxing to both frames just to give them some dimension and character, and now I'm going to add in our artwork. I'm going to take my staple gun and just shoot some staples to secure the plywood. I added some construction paper to the back and a hanging hardware on both frames, and then now they are done. I love how they came out. I priced this one for $40, and I priced the more sophisticated bunny for $45. Y'all let me know what y'all think about these. I think they are adorable. Here is another simple project for y'all. I picked up this really nice basket for $2. I love how it has that flat back to it. And I have the farm animal stamp from IOD. I grabbed the cute little rabbit from that stamp, and we're going to add some black IOD ink. I'm really making this ink pretty juicy since we're going to be stamping on some drop cloth fabric. I'm just going to make sure I don't have any rogue ink anywhere before I stamp on the fabric, and just hover, commit, try not to shift your stamp, hold with one hand and really press down with the other, making sure I press the entire stamp. You will see me even lift up to check if I missed any areas, and then pick straight up. I wasn't happy with the color. I wanted it more deeper, so I'm going to risk it. Restamp over that image, lined it up the best I could, and did the same thing, holding with one hand, pressing with the other, and I really like that way better. I'm going to clean my stamp with a baby wipe so we don't mess up our expensive stamps. And now I'm going to cut down my drop cloth just to make it more size appropriate for my basket, and then rip off some little strands to make it look more rustic. I'm going to attach the drop cloth with my hot glue gun. I'm just going to add a little dot of glue on each corner. That will be plenty strong enough to hold the fabric to the basket. And that's it for this one. I priced it for $16. What do y'all think about this basket? Next, I thrifted a whole basket of vintage bobbins. I paid $2 a piece for them, which I thought was a pretty good deal. Here I have some Hobby Lobby greenery. You can always get that 40% off if you wait for the right week. I'm going to cut off a whole stem because I want this to be pretty greenery heavy. As you can see, we're making carrots. On this set, I decided not to paint the bobbin, so I'm just simply going to add some hot glue to that stem and stick it down in the hole. This set of three I'm making for one of my really good friends, Lori, and she didn't want hers painted, but she wanted some moss up near the top. So I have this assortment of moss from Hobby Lobby, and I just grabbed a few different kinds and wrapped it around that greenery with a little bit of hot glue to hold it in place. Now, the remaining of the bobbins, I wanted to add some color to. I almost royally messed up right there, but it was a good save. I started off with this iron clay fusion color, and I was just going to plan on dry brushing this up there. And don't get me wrong, I love this terracotta color, but it was just blending in and kind of didn't even look like I really painted it. But I continued on and dry brushed, let it dry, and then I broke out DIY Summer Crush. This is a more carrot orange, and now I'm going to dry brush on right on top of that iron clay color, and I like this a whole lot better. I did several bobbins this way, and I let that paint fully dry. Now I'm going to come in because I have to seal that clay base paint, and I'm just going to use some DIY clear wax to seal up the paint. Then I just added my greens into the hole of the bobbin on these, and they were done. I love how they came out, super cute. I priced them for $8 a piece, and they sold very quickly. And that is it for today's easy spring projects. I hope y'all enjoyed these projects today. If you got any inspiration from the video, hit the like button and let me know which project is your favorite down in the comments. Consider subscribing if you have not already. We are pretty close to hitting that 10,000 subscriber mark. Thank y'all so much for spending your time with me today. I'll talk to y'all in the comments. Bye.